Hello student. Today we are going to discuss about different types of filters. Right. So I had already discussed that there are two types of filters. There are gravity filters and the pressure filters. In gravity filters we are more concerned with the flow filtration through gravity, and that happens when the head of water above the filter media is maintained and the flow is under the influence of gravity only. That is, the sand is used to filter the whatever the influent is coming inside via gravity only, and no external pressure is applied. So there are two major types of filters. The first is slow sand filters, and the other one is rapid sand filter. The differentiating factor of slow sand filter and the rapid sand filter is the rate of filtration. The rate of filtration in case of slow sand filter is very high as compared to the rapid sand filter. And that being said, we also know that what happens is that we used different type of materials, which is like mainly we use sand, but we can also use anthracite and other materials for the process of filtration. Now we are having a look on what a slow sand filter looks like. The slow sand filter basically will have two components, right? You can see that there is a break pressure chamber, and between the break pressure chamber, obviously there are two types of flows. The first one is the influent flow. The break pressure chamber is that whatever the influent is coming should be loaded over the filter uniformly, right, and with a uniform pressure also. So because the influent that is coming is not coming from one source only, it is coming from multiple sources. So there is a chamber that is called break pressure chamber, which is provided on the side of the tank or the side of the filter to have a constant pressure, or to maintain a constant pressure and maintain a constant flow into the system, right? Next, what happens is that from the break pressure chamber, a continuous flow is provided, and there is a constant head which is provided. And what happens is that when this head is loaded, or when we can say that the wastewater is loaded, what happens is that there is a sand layer and there is a gravel layer, and beneath the gravel layer there are under drains also, right? So what is happening here, you can easily see that the water which is to be treated is infused into it through the break pressure chamber, and what happens is that the sand size, whatever the sizes of pores that we have provided, will keep on reducing as the filter media. The sand is called filter media, right? Or whatever the media which is used for filtration is called filter media. It can be sand, it can be anthracite, or it can be any other material. So what is happening is that there is sedimentation, there is filtration, there is also biological treatment. What is happening is that the size of sand allows only the material which is smaller than the size of the sand to pass through it, to percolate through it, and the rest of the suspended solid, which is in the sizes which are larger than the size of the pores, will get retained over it, and a layer of suspended material will start forming over it, right? This layer will further reduce the size of the pores available for filtration, and we have already discussed that this layer, what happens is that this layer reduces the pore sizes further, and when the pore sizes is reduced further, this smaller pore size will retain more and more suspended solid, which is of smaller sizes. And what also happens here is that a layer of bacterial or other microorganism develops over this whatever the suspended solid is retained over the filter media, and this layer of microorganism is called Schmidt's deck, right? And this Schmidt's deck, what it does is that it starts to break the organic material whatever is coming with the influent, and that organic material is decomposed by the bacteria which has settled in the form of Schmidt's deck. And so what happens is that now this process is not just treating the water by filtration, but this process is also treating by in the form of biological activities, right? So in the slow sand filter, what is happening is that both the filtration with the medium of filter media, and by eliminating the higher sizes particle over the surface of the filter media, retaining that, and letting the sizes smaller than the sizes of filter media to pass through it to the effluent section. And what happens then, that the Schmidt's deck is produced, and the Schmidt's deck has microorganisms. These microorganisms start to disintegrate the organic material into simpler forms like water and carbon dioxide, etc. So what is actually happening is that along with the filtration process, also the biological treatment of the organic material is also taking place. So this is the advantage of slow sand filter. Also what happens is, when this slow sand filter, when the head loss, obviously that when you are providing a head and retaining the whatever head provided over the filter media, so there would obviously be a head loss. That head loss can be measured, and when this head loss becomes so eminent that the head loss is up to a range of 0.7 of the total head provided at the top of the sand filter, then what happens is that the pores are so much clogged that the filtration rate becomes very slow. When the filtration rate becomes very slow, what we do in this slow sand filter is that we stop the water coming in by the break pressure chamber, and we scrape the initial layer only, right? Whatever we have with the filter media, so there is a amount of suspended solid that was coming with the influent, which is now entrapped over the surface of the filter media, and what we do is we scrap that layer, right? So this is a physical process in which we are manually scrapping a layer which has clogged down the pores of the filter media. Then what we'll have to do, we'll have to replace this layer or whatever the portion of filter media that we had taken out by removing the clogged pores. What we do is that we replace and maintain the depth of the filter media. So this is a very lengthy process, this is a very tedious process, right? So what now you can see that what we have is an enclosure tank. Slow sand filter is an open basin, rectangular shape and built below finished ground level. Floor has a bed slope of 1:200 to 1:200 towards central drain. Central drain is the portion where the effluent water is coming out from. Surface area of the tanks varies from 50 to 1000 meter per square. Just the other day, one of your classmate had asked me a question that how we will design the slow sand filter. So the designing of slow sand filter includes finding out the total amount of water that is to be received by this slow sand filter, that is the total requirement, maximum hourly demand multiplied by the normal demand. So we'll have the maximum daily demand, and in the maximum daily demand, as I have told you, that the depth will remain between 2.5 to 4 meter. So depth is basically assumed between 2.5 to 4 meter. We have the value of discharge, right? We have the value of discharge. With the value of discharge, we can find out the surface area, and the surface area of the tank is very large. The footprint of slow sand filter is very large, between 50 to 1000 meter square. So we have to always provide multiple slow sand filter to accommodate for that area. Like For example, if a place requires let us suppose 1250 meter square surface area for the amount of maximum early demand or maximum water that is coming inside the treatment process, then we do not provide a chamber of 1250 meter square surface area, but what we do is we provide a 250 meter square surface area, and we provide 5 chambers, 5 similar basins, right, and one basin on the standby, so we will provide 6 chambers, right, of 250 meter square surface area each, right. So this is the process of forming an enclosure tank. As I had already discussed, the filter media, the thickness of the layer of the sand is 90 to 110 centimeters. So this is also a figure that has been calculated over time. The effective size of the pore is smaller in slow sand filter as compared to rapid sand filter, that we will discuss in detail in the in upcoming time. And the effective size is 0.2 to 0.35, but we commonly assume a value of 0.3. The value of coefficient of uniformity lies between 2 to 3, the common value of 2.5, right. So what is the base material? The base material is obviously the gravel, which is up to a depth of 30 to 75 centimeter, which do not add to the filtration process, but what it does is it is to support the sand over it, right. So it does not let the sand which is acting as a filter media to wash off with the flow rate, right, with the flow. So the gravel, so only requirement is to support the filter media, right. So the topmost and the gravels are also different size, as you all know. So the topmost layer will have gravel of a smaller size, and the small sizes of gravel will keep on increasing as we go down the bottom, right. So we also have an under drainage system. The base material and filter media are supported by under drainage system. Under drainage system collects filtered water and delivers it to the reservoir where the filtered water is to be stored. The laterals earthenware pipes of 7.5 to 10 centimeter diameter are used for the under drainage system with a spacing of 2 to 3 meter center to center, right. This is how it looks like. These are perforated pipes which are acting as laterals. So these allow these perforated pipe allows the whatever the filtered water is inside coming from the your filter media is taken into these laterals, and these laterals are obviously perforated. So what happens is the water is collected initially inside these laterals, and from these laterals are all connected to the central drain, which is connected to the outlet chamber where the filtered water is assumed to be collected, right. So what is happening is that the filter media will always be in between these lateral drains towards the bottom only, right. So this is the plan of the bottom of the chamber, right. This is not the plan of the top of the, मतलब पूरा sand जो है उसके बीच में pipe नहीं पड़े रहेंगे. These pipes are beneath the gravel, right. So this is how it collects. Upper tenances, we have to use something to measure the head loss, because after a certain limit we have to clean the system, so we have to necessarily calculate or measure the head loss through the filter. We also have to control the depth of water above the filter media, so we also have to have control devices and to maintain a constant rate of filtration through the filter, right. Working as we have already discussed when we are discussing with the figure, so we don't have to study all these because we have already discussed this. Now we will move on to the next process, which is our rapid sand filter. Rapid sand filters can be of two types. It can be of the gravity type, it can be of the pressure type. So first we are discussing the rapid sand filters, which are of the gravity type, right. So this is how your rapid sand filter looks like. So you can see that in the right of the figure, if you see, wait a second, In the right of the figure, you can see that there is a water storage. I'll start discussing it from the right side only. So this water storage will have wash water, right? This water storage will have clean water, because in the slow sand filter what we were doing is we were scraping off the top layer, but in the rapid sand filter we do not scrape off the top layer, but we wash it, right? So how is it done? It is done by utilizing two units. The first is the water storage tank, which is situated at a certain height to maintain pressure enough to drain off whatever the things, material that are clogging the pores. And there is also a air compressor unit, so that the air compressor units eases the process, right? So there is an air compressor unit which stores the air in compressed form, and there is a water storage tank. So you can see that from the water storage tank there is a pipe which is called wash water pipe, and this wash water pipe is controlled by a valve E. You can see here that there is a valve E which is disconnecting or connecting the water storage to the main system. From the air compressor unit there is a pipe that is coming inside the chamber, which is called air pipe. This air pipe is controlled by the valve F, right? So there, you have two valves on the right, the valve E for wash water pipe and the valve F for the air pipe. ठीक है, उसके बाद क्या चीज़ है? उसके बाद if you see on the left of your chamber there is an inlet chamber, right? You can see that there is an inlet chamber. The inlet chamber have a separate system to allow the water to come inside the chambers, right? And there is a gravel layer. Over the top of the gravel layer there is a sand layer which is working as a filter media. This sand have higher sizes as compared to the slow sand filter. So large coefficient of uniformity and large diameter of particles sand is used, and over the sand layer you can see wash water troughs. These wash water troughs are only used, or these are only in usage when we are cleaning the system. So there are also wash water troughs. There is a water level while filtering. You can see that there is a certain head of the water we have to maintain while the filtration process is going on, right? So you can see that on the left there is a pipe which is controlled again by valve A, right? This valve A is controlling what? This valve A is controlling the flow of the influent inside the inlet chamber, right? Also you can see that beneath the sand layer there is a gravel layer. Beneath the gravel layer there is a lateral drain. The lateral drain are connected to a central drain, and you can see that a valve B is the valve B is the one which is taking a pipe which is getting inside the filtered water storage tank. So you understand that the influent will get into the chamber from the valve A. So when the valve A is open, only then will the influent will be allowed inside the chamber, right? And only when the valve B is open, the effluent, that is the treated water which is collected inside the lateral drains and the central drain, is allowed to infiltrate or is allowed to travel within the pipe which is connected to the filtered water storage only when the valve B is open. So what valve A is doing? Valve A is controlling the influent and valve B is controlling the effluent, right? Now you can also see that there is a wash water drain. Wash water is that water, the water which you used for the cleaning purpose of this tank. So that is wash water. So there is a pipe which is having the valve D. This valve D is obviously this valve D will be closed during the operation. That is, the main operation of this chamber is to is filtration, obviously, and the filtration involves just two processes. That is, the working of this rapid sand filter will involve two processes only. The first process is that the influent is coming inside, and the second process is the effluent is going outside, right? But what the valve D is doing is that it is taking the clear water, or it is taking that water which is consisting of the water which is coming out from the wash water troughs, that is the water which is carrying all those impurities which has clogged the system. Obviously, when we use the system will obviously get clogged, and when there is head losses reaches a certain limit, then we'll have to wash up the system. So in the slow sand filter, what we were doing is we were just scraping off the top layer which were having the impurities which were clogging down the pore sizes. But in this system, what we are doing is we are using an air compressor unit and wash water storage for cleaning this system. So there are two types of processes in this rapid sand filter. The first is the main process, that is the working of the system, and the second is the secondary process, which is the cleaning of the system. So valve D allows the water which is used to clean, which will also have the impurities which are clogging the system, to take them off from the system to the wash water drain, right? That is the system of that is the use of valve D. There is also a valve C, right? This what this valve C, where is this valve C is connected? This valve C is connected so that all that water which is not carrying, there would be you can see on the right of the figure that there is a wash water storage. What wash water storage will allow that when you will open the valve E, there would be some amount of water which will obviously you open the valve E and you close the valve B, right? If you see in the figure closely, when you open the valve E and you close the valve B, what where will this water go that is coming inside the system from E? It will start to rise up, right? When it starts to rise up, all those impurities which have collected over the filter sand media will start to rise, and what is happening is they do not go inside the inlet chamber, but what they do is they are collected in the wash water troughs, and these wash water troughs are connected to the pipe system at D, right? So that system will obviously take out the impurities that are clogging the system. So what we do is there are just two processes. First is the working process of the rapid sand filter, that involves opening the valves A and opening the valves B, right? And then there is the cleaning of the system, that involves opening the valve F for air to those impurities who have stuck down. It loosens up those impurities that compressed there, and the valve E, which is having the water at a higher pressure travel through the pipe. Obviously the water storage is at a higher height, and what happens is when this water comes down, it has a higher pressure and higher energy. So what happens is that it gets into the drain, and then gravel, then sand, and that level of water is obviously rises because the valve A is closed and the valve B is also closed. So initially the valve D and valve C are also closed. When the water rises up to the height where the wash water troughs carries the impurities, then only the valve D and the valve C are opened for cleaning purpose only, right? So this is how your rapid sand filter works. You can see in this figure that it is smaller in size, therefore it can be placed under a roof, or basically it requires a smaller footprint, right? It is also rectangular in shape, constructed concrete or masonry. Depth would be obviously similar to the slow sand filter, 2.5 to 3.5 meter. The surface area is smaller because the overall size requirement is less. the L by B ratio being between 1.25 to 1.35. The design filtration rate is higher in rapid sand filter because of the larger diameter of the sand particles. So the design filtration rate is quite high, which is between 3000 to 6000 liter per meter square per hour. The filter media, the depth of sand media is obviously almost similar, between 0.6 to 0.9. It should be hard, it should be resistant, it should be free from dirt, it should be free from organic matter, other suspended solid. Effective size increases in the rapid sand filter to effective size of 0.35 to 0.6 mm with the common value of 0.45. The coefficient of uniformity is between 1.2 to 1.7 with a common value of 1.5. Right. This is the formula which is used. It is called Hudson formula. The Hudson formula is sometimes used to estimate the depth of the sand filter required, and this formula is QD square H by I, where I is the depth, H is the head, Q is the discharge per meter square per hour, and D is the depth of the sand required. Right. BI is the breakthrough index, which is assumed in between 4 into 10 to the minus 4 to 6 into 10 to the power minus 3. So you can assume any value. Right. Obviously the base material is comprising of the gravel. The total depth is 45 to 60 centimeters. So if for example it's a 60 centimeter, then the topmost layer will have a smaller size of gravel, and the bottommost layer will have the higher size or bigger size of the gravels. Right. This is just to support the system, and so that the water from the perforated drain can come inside the main drain. Gravel size you can also choose by this formula. Okay. Under drainage system is similar to that. Working I have explained to you. This is how it the section of it looks of the under drainage system. So these are perforated laterals, and these are gravels to support, and these are the filter media, and these are the wash trough that I was talking about. So when the water rises, what happens is that whatever the dirty material which have stuck above the filter media will rise up to a height, and then finally you can see that these are connected. These wash troughs are connected to the outlet system. So the valve will be opened, the deep valve will be opened, and the wash water will have carry the sediments which had settled over the filter media, and those will wash it off. Right. This is how it looks. You can also use a strainer. I also want to show you how it actually looks. I have already discussed all these things, so I want to show you how it looks. See, this is how it looks. This is the sand, and over the sand a lot of the suspended solid have collected. So what happens is when the wash water level rises from the bottom, this collected impurity over the filter medium will rise, and after it rises, it gets collected into this trough, and this trough is obviously connected to the outlet system, and this only the filter media remains, and the rest is then washed off. You can see this is how it works. Right. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have understood everything, and if you haven't or if you have any question, you can ask on the WhatsApp group or on the comment section below. Thank you so much.